What's up, everybody? This is Carson from 3D Joe's, and today we're going to be covering the lunchboxes of G.I. Joe, a real American hero. So we are here in the 3D Joe's studio. Got a little 7-foot seamless cyc wall right up there, and we got the rotating Lazy Susan. And one of the things that we've been working on collecting for the last probably a little over 2 years is lunchboxes. A big fan of the G.I. Joe Real American Hero lunchboxes. I wanted to give you guys a walkthrough. We've been heavily documenting using the 360 spin technology and then a ton of photos just using normal iPhone photos and then doing a bunch of Photoshop work. So we're starting to put pages together on 3D Joe's related to the lunchboxes. So with that said, I wanted to walk you guys through every lunchbox that I've found. All right, so here is the run of G.I. Joe Real American Hero lunchboxes. You got the 1982 one. This is metal. It's got beautiful artwork. So this is the original 1982 G.I. Joe Real American Hero lunchbox made out of metal. It came with a thermos. There's actually a couple variants here. So there are two different yellow thermoses. This is one of the ones. Now it looks like the red has faded here. There was a red stripe on G.I. Joe. It's got the brown cap on it. And then this one right here has the white cap on it, and it's a 3-color print on a white label. So there's red, black, and blue ink printed on that grunt artwork reminiscent of the 1982 grunt card. So one of the things that we notice about these lunchboxes as we really dig into them is some of the interesting variations that are available. So one of the things you'll see documented on the website is the yellow handled one never has a printed barcode on the bottom that I've seen, and I've looked through hundreds of listings. The white handled one sometimes comes with this printed barcode and sometimes comes without it. So I've seen the white handle lunchbox with and without that printed barcode. The yellow handle lunchbox, I've never seen to have that barcode printed on it. And so that was the first lunchbox created by Hasbro for G.I. Joe Real American Hero. So here's the second lunchbox. This is a mini lunchbox. And this is pretty cool, man. I'm actually a really big fan of this one. The other lunchbox has a bunch of original artwork on it, which you can see on the site. I think it was painted by the guy that painted To the Rescue. It looks like a very similar painting style as the guy that painted To the Rescue. It's not Bill Sienkiewicz. I've actually spoken with him over Facebook, and he said it was beautiful artwork, but not his. So this piece of artwork right here looks to me like Hawk. And it is fully original. This was created by Chinco, C-H-E-I-N-C-O, made out of metal. It's another 10, and it's got the repurposed artwork from the 1982 official collector's case. You just move these little handles out of the way, and then you pop that lid off. The lid's red on the inside, and the interior of the box itself is white. So you got a little red lid, you've got these little handles that move out of the way. It's a repeating pattern, so you got Hawk again on the back side. And again, you know, this is made by Chinco, which you can see their little label right there. Chinco, made in the USA. This was manufactured in the United States. And there's more information about this one already up on the website. All right, now we're gonna skip over this book bag. There's a book bag that came with a thermos. We're gonna skip over that because we're just talking lunchboxes today. The next lunchbox is 1986, Live the Adventure. So as everybody knows, for 1986, the theme became Live the Adventure. It was putting yourself in the adventure of G.I. Joe. And you can see that little kid right there. He's living the adventure. Just putting themselves in all kinds of danger. About to go mess with some bats and crimson guards. So this was the kind of traditional Aladdin lunchbox of that era. It has a plastic handle that says Aladdin on top. It's got metal connections that connect the handle to the plastic lunchbox. Every one of these lunchboxes came with a thermos. So we'll open this up. And there's the thermos that came with it. So this is a 1986 lunchbox with the 1986 catalog art, but you'll notice it's got a thermos that is dated. This was made by Aladdin Industries. They're out of Nashville. And the thermos is dated 1985, and it's got line artwork for the 1985 characters. So that's pretty interesting. You got the 85 characters and you got the 86 catalog art. And this was a lunchbox that was released in 1986. So this is what I call the early 1986 lunchbox because it's got the 1985 characters with it and it's got the 1986 catalog art going on. Now, once they got done with this artwork, they transitioned to this artwork. So this is a revised piece of artwork. So the original artwork was then modified by Hector Garrido, the original illustrator. They added the Triple T, Sergeant Slaughter, they got rid of Hawk. So they got rid of Lifeline and Wetsuit, they got rid of Mainframe, and they added Sergeant Slaughter and his Triple T. So this is the same type construction of Aladdin Lunchbox. It's got that plastic Aladdin handle with the metal connectors. It's pretty much the same as the other Lunchbox. It's got a concave Aladdin circle on the back. Whereas if you look at the Live the Adventure one, there is no concave circle. There is no circle of any sort. There's just an Aladdin brand down there. So one of the changes they made from the early 1986 Lunchbox to the late 1986 Lunchbox was they decided to start doing these circular Aladdin logos on the backside. But other than that, I don't think there were any construction changes on the box itself. Now, with this revised artwork, we also got a revised thermos. So they skipped, interestingly, over the 1986 characters. The early 1986 one, right, with the Live the Adventure art, had the 85 characters. The later 1986 one has the 1987 character line art. So my favorite Falcon's on there. You get Chuckles, Sneak Peek, Crazy Legs, Law and Order, Outback, Psych Out, and then you're back around to the beginning. This is what I call the late 1986 Lunchbox. And this has the artwork that was created either for this Lunchbox or for G.I. Joe magazine winter 1987 issue. So you can learn more about that on the website as well. Now, this was the earlier version of this Lunchbox. It has the concave circular logo right there. There is a later version of this Lunchbox that has a convex, meaning popping out little circular Aladdin. So you got concave for the earlier one, convex for the later one. Now they also changed the handles. They went from this old school Aladdin labeled handle to this all plastic handle that you see up here. And going forward, the rest of the Aladdin Lunchboxes will have that all plastic handle. So towards, I would say, the end of 1986, when they rolled out this new Lunchbox with revised artwork, they also revised the Lunchbox construction itself and switched to an all plastic handle. So that wraps up what we'll call 1986, early and late. Now you go to 1987, and this has the first piece of Doug Hart artwork. Doug Hart was an internal illustrator at Hasbro. This was the first major piece of art that he created for the brand. He was big on airbrushing, and so you could tell this technique is just totally different. So it's got a much softer, kind of more Miami Vice pastel color palette. And let's see, open this up. It's got a matching thermos with matching line art. So all of the 1987 characters, you got Gung Ho, Falcon, Fast Draw, the Defiant, the Mamba. You don't get Croc Master and the Buzzbore version of it, unfortunately. Now the construction of the Lunchbox itself has not changed. We are still running with this all plastic handle. That was, you know, the running change that they made on the late 1986 Lunchbox. So we're still running with the all plastic handle there. That's 1987. Now, 1988, there are two more Lunchboxes. There's another version issue going on here. So what you can see in the earlier one is the typical construction with the all plastic handle, and it's got a metal clasp here, and it's the Tiger Force artwork. In the later 1988 one, you have the all plastic handle, but now they've switched to an all plastic clasp here. And it's kind of interesting, like they go back and forth on this. If you look at the 1989 Crusader one, it's got a metal clasp. So it's not like this was a running change that they used, you know, forever after going forward. They went back to the metal clasp for the Crusader, and then they went back to the plastic clasp for the 1990 General one. Let's look at the 1988 blue and the 1988 red. And shout out to Sam from Joe Declassified for pointing this out to me, man. I thought I had a complete Lunchbox collection, and then Nomad came along and was like, oh, you think you're done? You got to chase a red Tiger Force Lunchbox. So thanks, man. This is the 1988 Tiger Shark artwork. This was painted by Hector Garrido over Hector Garrido's original painting for the Copra water moccasin Back in the day, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, they would take the original piece of artwork and they would paint right on top of it. And that's why you have the similar pose for the boat, the similar pose of like Roadblock is in the exact same pose as the Cobra officer was there. Muskrat's in the same pose as Cobra Commander was. And Spearhead is in the same pose that I believe Destro was up there on the gun. So anyway, let's crack this bad boy open. It's got the plastic handle again. Still got the metal tab, metal clasp, I should say. Now you have a thermos that doesn't exactly match. This thermos is a little bit darker. So this blue does not match this other blue, but I've looked at other versions online and that seemed to just be the way that it was made. So it's line art for Lifeline version 2, Tiger Force Lifeline. And then we'll go ahead and look at this red one, and using this plastic clasp, open that bad boy up and have a look at this thermos. So, you know, they did matching thermoses for these. So if you got the red lunchbox, you got the red thermos. If you got the blue lunchbox, you got the blue thermos. Albeit the blue was a little bit darker than the lunchbox blue. Same exact line artwork for Lifeline with the Tiger Force logo. So there's another variation for you guys to chase. The blue came earlier, I believe, but that's based on this revision to this plastic handle. And I can't confirm that as 100% factual. But if I had to bet, I would bet that the plastic clasp was a later revision. Moving on to 1989, they, as you know, stopped investing in a lot of original painted artwork. So this is just simply the Crusader box art, which is some pretty cool artwork. Still got the all plastic handle, back to the metal clasp, as you can see. We'll go ahead and pop that little metal clasp and have a look at this. So interestingly here, you've got Snake Eyes version 2, you got Rock and Roll version 2, and then you got headshots of some of the other characters: Scoop, Downtown, Stalker, Countdown, Deep Six, and Backblast. So you've got the same kind of theme that we've seen before with the kind of line art that's reminiscent of the card art, but not exactly the card art, especially in this case. Snake Eyes is very similar to the box art. I think Rock and Roll is quite a bit different. It's got a matching blue and blue one more time. And this one is copyright 1989. And as you know, those are 1989 characters. So nothing surprising there for a 1989 lunchbox. No variations on that one that I've found. No variations on the last two of these Aladdin lunchboxes either. All right, so next up is the 1990 General lunchbox. This is only the second red lunchbox that we've seen. We saw the red Tiger Force lunchbox that I believe was a later variant. Then we have another red, which is the General, and it's got the plastic clasp again, just like that plastic clasp on the second 1988 Tiger Force one. Let's pop the clasp, have a look at the lunchbox here. So this is obviously the 1990 General. This thermos is pretty awesome. It features a bunch of comic book art, and it's copywritten 1991. So, you know, you got Snake Eyes on there, you got the Locust, you got Cobra Commander, you got Dusty. Not sure what vehicle he's in. It looks like the Mean Dog, but it's miscolored green. With some really cool comic book art on here, which is a break from tradition for them. Whereas before, you know, they were using the line art that was from those line art catalogs more than likely. So that is the 1990 Aladdin lunchbox. All of these plastic lunchboxes, again, are from Aladdin. And with the exception of the two earlier metal ones, I believe this one's from Aladdin. It doesn't have any Aladdin markings on it, though. Yojo does say it's from Aladdin. If you look at the copyright on it, it says Thermos Division, King Sealy Thermos Company. So I've actually got this one marked as it's from Thermos, not from Aladdin. But I'd be willing and open, as always, to any new information that confirms 100% that it is from Aladdin, not from Thermos. All right, so I believe that was from Thermos. And then the other one, like I said, was from Chinko. They did a somewhat matching trash can with the hawk art on it. I've got that trash can as well. That's up on the website. And the rest of these that we've covered so far are all Aladdin. So this is the 1990 one. Now we're off to the whimpering conclusion. This is the Ghost Striker. Interestingly, this one has the plastic latch as well. So this is a 1992 vehicle. This box is dated 1992. And we'll bust open that plastic latch. Have a look. It's more comic book style artwork. Yeah, it looks like Snake Eyes, kind of a recolored version of him. Still got those blades on the chest. You got Storm Shadow, you know, by now he had joined the Joes and he was part of Ninja Force. He was the Ninja Force leader. And yeah, so it's just using some comic book artwork, which is really cool. And this is dated 1992 as well. So you got a blue one with an all plastic handle. Once they made that change, they stuck with it. So anyway, this was the grand finale of the Aladdin lunchboxes for G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. Now there is one additional lunchbox entry that is even more of a whimper. This thing is horrible, but hey, we're gonna be completist and we're gonna show it to you. So this was made in this is copyright 1992 as well. And this was called the Lunch Bunch, and it's just horrific. I mean, the artwork on here is horrible. As a fan of the painted artwork, man, this is just bad. You've got what I believe is Eco Warriors Flint. You've got General Hawk with his jetpack, which is pretty cool. You got Law and Order, just Law this time though. Order might have gotten too old for the job. And then you got the Snake Eyes, which I believe was version 4. So this was a set. You can see the little stamp on it right there that says Lunch Bunch. And I'll unzip this. And there it is. So you got a little plastic divider in there, and then you got a little, somewhat of a thermos in there, just branded with Lunch Bunch. So about as anticlimactic as this video could be, ending on a Lunch Bunch with a generic thermos on the inside. So that was the whimpering finale of the G.I. Joe lunchboxes. So we went from awesome, like all painted artwork on 4 sides, just a really, really cool lunchbox, to this thing over here. All right. As always, we're putting all these lunchboxes on 3D Joes with 360 spins and a ton of feature photos so you can compare the various variants that we've been able to document. And if you know of anything else in terms of other lunchboxes with different variations, we would love to hear about it. So get in touch, leave some comments below. You know, you can reach me through Facebook and Twitter anytime. And shout out to my sister who's hiding out. She's been helping do a lot of the work. She's so scared I'm going to turn this way. I'm not gonna do that to her.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, she's been helping out with the documentation, so big shout out to her for keeping the dream alive of 3D Joes. So later, guys.